Hello, Juice Heads. How the fuck are you guys? How you doing? Welcome to episode 19 of What's Trending with Juice Giorgio. With me, fucking Juice Giorgio over here. So President Trump just impromptuly did his farewell address. I normally don't follow politics this hard. To even know when a president or give a shit when a president is doing a farewell address. So I did happen to catch it live, and I think I found out like 15 minutes ahead of time. Coffee and a chaser. It's pretty good. He was going on at 4 o'clock Eastern time, so I got wind of it at about 3:45. I was going to do an impromptu live stream, but it was too late. Plus, I have a job. So it just wrapped up about 20 minutes ago. We spoke for about, I want to say about 20 minutes. He went on at sometime in between 4:05 and 10 after 4. He usually goes on anywhere between 30 and 50 minutes late. So I'm just here to give you the cliff notes. I might give you an opinion or two, because that's what I do on this fucking show, because it's what's trending. I'm sure in reality Trump's farewell is trending. I'm sure the fucking hate on the left is still so strong for this man that it's probably not trending in real life. But don't worry, Juice Heads, I'll keep you up to speed. So, by the way, I think when President-elect Biden did his last live stream, he got like 2,400 viewers. I was just on one YouTube channel. I didn't check every YouTube channel that was broadcasting this, but I was on Right Side Broadcasting. I'm subscribed to them, obviously. If you listen to me, that's a no-brainer. You would know that. But they had 550,000 viewers after the video of Trump ended. They stayed on the air for about 2 minutes, so I thought they might cut back to the reporter. But I didn't check while it was on, while Trump was speaking, but they had 550,000 viewers after even Trump was done speaking, and you were in that limbo. Are they going to comment on it? Are they not going to comment on it? But here's the bullet points, because I'm a man of my word, so here you go. He kicked it off by talking about there's going to be a new administration tomorrow, and he wished them luck, and he said luck is going to be a very important word, whatever that means. And then he just went on to list his accomplishments. I was jotting them down as he was talking. Number one, he said he was the only true outsider. I'm going to run through this real quick, and then I'll do commentary, but these are the bullet points. Only true outsider to ever win the presidency, which is probably true. He emphasized America first, and he hopes that doesn't die, which it will tomorrow at noon. He talked about the potential that his presidency had, because he was talking about coming from the background of being a builder and building up the New York skyline and building skyscrapers. And he was talking about the potential this country had about thinking big and what we can do here, what we can accomplish with a contingency if done properly. Because we know he's never going to say he had a proper administration. And I think most people would agree with that watch this objectively. And he said this isn't about Democrats versus Republicans. This is about the nation, putting the nation first. And that's what I've been saying the last few weeks. This isn't about these versus our anymore. This is about patriots versus the establishment, okay? And then more literal accomplishments. Those were more metaphorical. He was talking about the tax cuts and the regulations. I know people here in the Northeast, especially the New York tri-state area, weren't fans of the tax cuts because it fucked a lot of homeowners. When in reality it did, and I got two answers for that. Number one, Congress wrote the bill. They have the power of the purse. It was a shitty fucking tax cut thing. I agree. But it helped most Americans. Overall, it helped more Americans than it hurt. And number two, your state and local taxes, it's called SALT for a reason. So maybe take it up with the state government and the local government, because New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut are three of the worst fucking state legislators in the country. Three of the worst. He talked about working with China, right? Up until about a year ago, how he wasn't basically bending over for China and being their bitch. Before that, actually, I skipped one. He was talking about the USMCA, right? He got rid of NAFTA, terminated NAFTA, made the USMCA deal, right? United States, Mexico, Canada. Sounds so much better. It's terrific. Okay, but then he used that to transition into talking about working with China up until the COVID, and then he brought up that we produced 2 vaccines in record-breaking speed. And then he used that to segue into standing up to Big Pharma, which he did do, which Bernie Sanders, I know Bernie Sanders supporters hate Trump, but you gotta admit he stood up to Big Pharma, and he's gotten us the lowest prescription drug prices like ever. He did bring prescription drug prices down. That's indisputable. So to Bernie supporters, you're welcome. Then he transitioned that into government-run medicine, right? Because the VA was terrible when he took over. So he gave choice to VA, really revamped the VA, really looked at it, got rid of the people that ran it that sucked. Right, he passed right to try. So if you're terminally ill, you could try experimental drugs, which should have been a no-brainer before that. And no one talks about it, but he got criminal justice reform passed. He undid a lot of that shit that the president-elect wrote back in '94. He confirmed 3 new justices, which that is what it is. I think the justices they're either compromised or they're just always going to bend at the knee for some reason. Enough said about that. And again, nearly 300 federal judges were appointed. A lot of those were blanks from Obama's administration. And Mitch McConnell really appointed them. So I don't know. I guess it's better than having liberals in there. So it's like the lesser of the 2 evils because they're rhinos. They seem to be neocons and rhinos. He talked about securing the southern border, how we have the most secure border that we've ever had in our nation's history, which could be true. He talked about making NATO ante up. So now all these other countries are contributing hundreds of billions of dollars, which they should have been doing in the first place. All right? Why should we be on the hook for that? We, the taxpayers. So that's a good one. He talked about rebuilding the military, launching Space Force, which how can you... I understand like people are against war, but he's been the most anti-war president in the last few decades, and he mentioned that as well. But sometimes being part of being anti-war means you're going to build up the military, and it's called peace through strength. And hey, whatever causes the least amount of war, I'm for. So if it's peace through strength, building up the military, I'm fine with that. I don't think a penny's wasted to that, unless it's going to, poppy fields for endless wars and nation building, which it wasn't for Trump's case. And then he talked about obliterating ISIS. I mean, can you imagine within the next couple of months you start hearing about ISIS again? You heard about ISIS for like three or 4 weeks into his first and I guess only term, right? He obliterated them so quickly. You didn't even fucking hear about them. It had to be like Tom Brady in his prime with the Patriots taking on a high school team, you know? Obama never let the military unleash on them. Then he talked about some things for the future. He hopes free speech and open debate remains a staple of our country because right now it ain't looking too good. He denounced censorship naturally, which we do here on this platform. The only reason, I'm pretty sure I'm already shadow banned by YouTube, but if I were bigger, I'd be either suspended or done. Same for my Twitter, but I have a measly 1,200 followers on Twitter. Who knows how many of those are bots, and who knows, it might have been 1,800 before the latest purge, because it was just a bunch of people before I even started podcasting that I would follow, and they'd follow me back, just regular civilians that had, we'll just say, similar interests. We'll leave it at that. And then he was talking about how America must always be a land of hope and glory, which I don't know how anybody could disagree with. Keep it safe, strong, proud, and free, which probably won't happen. And I'm not even going to say Democrats. It won't happen if the establishment totally gets control and keeps control. This is like the Empire Strikes Back, right? And then he was saying the best is yet to come. I think he was saying that on the campaign trail. I think he meant it for really tomorrow moving forward in a different way. I think he still means it for tomorrow moving forward, but now that's going to be done in a totally different way, being out of office. And he said this great movement, we're only just in the beginning. So, we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting really next couple days, couple weeks, couple months, couple years. We'll see what the fuck happens. As you know, we're not allowed to dispute this election, even though the 2016 election was disputed all the way up to the 2020 election, and they're probably still disputing it. But hey, I didn't say anything about the 2020 election. All right, I didn't say nothing. So, like I said, I didn't realize Trump was doing a farewell speech today, so I just barely caught it. These were the cliff notes. Please do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button if you're digging what's trending with Juice Giorgio. And I'll be back later, actually, to break down Trump's accomplishments from his whole administration. From his whole administration. It's a dangerous situation. So that's it, Juice Heads. We'll see you next time on What's Trending. We're going to come back at you a little later tonight. Peace.